Hey there, it's Pete C for Sample Library Review, and today I'm checking out Heirloom by Spitfire Audio. After a good solid week of teasing us with little hints of their new library, Spitfire Audio have released their new ultra-modern scoring toolkit, Heirloom. From the imagination of acclaimed artist Keaton Henson comes an intimate, character-rich, and for want of a better word, dusty collection of cinematic instruments. Described by Spitfire Audio themselves as the sonic equivalent of the worn-out seat on your father's favourite chair, what possibly could this collection contain? Heirloom downloads at 34.2 gigabytes and was recorded at Church Studios. It includes piano, string ensemble, contrabass, clarinet, guitar and tubax. There is one pre-made mix and a further 8 mic options. Heirloom uses the standalone Spitfire Audio plugin and is NKS compatible. Normally Heirloom sells for £249, yet is on intro for £199. Before we jump into this collection, I have recorded a very quick demo. It took about 20 minutes to write just to get the feel of the library and just see how all the instruments work together. All the instruments are from Heirloom aside from the percussion, which is from BT Phobos, which is one of my secret weapon synths. From that demo, it's really apparent this is a really special collection of instruments. It's really well thought out and it contains instruments and articulations that you're not going to find anywhere else. That said, if I just show you the instruments right from the get-go, you have the piano, the strings, the guitars, contrabass, clarinet and the tubax, and you have different articulations for each instrument. So with the strings, for example, you've got legato, long flautando, etc. And you have the all-in-one patch. So you can load multiple articulations and stack them up, which I'll go through a little bit later. You can also jettison articulations you don't want to use the same on your RAM consumption. So really, really well thought out. So we're going to look at all these instruments as we go through. I love the fact there's a little bit of scribble going on behind as my mouse sort of scribbles along with it. Just gives it a lot more character. But we're going to start on the piano. Now, one thing I noticed with the piano out the box is very, very quiet. So for this review, I've turned it up and it is quite high, and it's only for this instrument. So when I use my complete controller, I've got all the velocity curves in, and in practice in the DAW, it's not a problem. That's a bit quiet, but you do miss out a lot of character. So I've just taken from the demo just the piano part, and you can hear like the sort of dustiness, the creaking, or the pedal sound, and it sounds absolutely exquisite. So as a mid velocity piano, it sounds lovely. So very just simple 2 chords. And when you start going through the velocity layers, it sort of brightens up. So if I play quietly, you get this. And that really helps it stand out within the instrumentation. So I just love it. It feels like a sort of almost like a 2-tone piano when you're playing. So the piano's got character, and if you use other Spitfire pianos, like the Olafur Arnold's Toolkit is probably my favourite Spitfire piano, but also things like the Firewood piano, they've all got a character of their own, and this doesn't disappoint. So if you feel like you own other Spitfire pianos, and maybe Heirloom isn't worth it because you have a lot of those, well actually, it really is, yeah, a lovely piano to play. Big fan of the piano. Now, looking at the GUI, you have, if you click in the middle, you can change between reverb and tightness and use that dial. And then you've got your CC1 and CC11, I believe. To really capture the character of the piano, I'll just put in the audio clip of the demo and just the piano isolated, and you can really hear all the nuances. But the piano is absolutely brilliant. I've loaded up the strings all-in-one patch next, and it defaults to the longs, and they sound like this. And it's a very small string ensemble, and you can almost hear the individual players. And it's a full range ensemble going from low C, and that bass, it just sounds ace. And then moving up to a high C. Now, if I go for the legato high, and everything's pre-panned, which is really useful, especially if you're composing really, really quickly. You really get that room sound straight away. So here's the legato low. Absolutely loving the bass on this library. Now, here's the thing about the legato. There aren't particularly a huge amount of legato options. It is what it is, but I think it's brilliant. It's very expressive, and especially when you're building up the ensemble and playing each part in legato, it just sounds, yeah, really, really cool. And again, it really adds to the character. So that's the legato. Now, flautando is one of my probably most overused articulations, that and harmonics. And Bartok pizzicato, actually. Quite a big fan. And yeah, the flautando does not disappoint. So I'm trying to fit just some chords on the right and just some really simple bass parts on the left while using modulation on the mod wheel, just to get an idea of how it all works together. But just listen to that room sound. So that is absolutely stunning. And then we have the long viol. So again, just some basic triads. And then the brushed. So these are the shorts really. Not the best example though. And especially in that sort of near-classical trailer trend that's going on. If you combine this, I was thinking with Abbey Road 2, and you go to a close mic, you just get that amazing, really short, snappy sound. So let's just bring up the mic. It will take a little time to load. There we go. So yeah, that can work incredibly well. And I'm just going to go back to the main mix. The main mix is exceptional. I did find myself not really wanting to move away. So that was really, really cool. Now let's just go back to, so I brushed. Now we've got short rounded. And then you got chimes, and another one of my favourite articulations. They just sound stunning. Now, if you want to have two articulations going at the same time, if you just, whoops, I'm just loading these up. Let's do flautando and no, let's do short rounded. So what you've got to do is hold shift when you select the articulations, and it's a little bit different. I was expecting them to both stay red, but you can see if I go to long and then I go to short rounded and hold down shift, you get a little black dot on the top left. So that means both of them are working together. So if we went brushed and chimes, you can hear the short brush and then the chimes sort of floating in. Very cool to know. And then if you're in a patch like this and you do want to stack articulations, however, you want to remove some, if you just click on if I just go back to that, if you click on this icon here, and then you can just close off anything you don't want, and then when you go back, it will just show you what you have. So you reduce your RAM footprint. Very, very useful. Now that's strings. So strings, really, really useful, gorgeous ensemble. We're going to go to the guitars, and I'll do it again in the all-in-one. So we have swells to begin. I'm just going to adjust the volume again, just make sure we're okay. Now these swells, they're great just for being in the background. And in the demo, I use shimmers quite a lot. Now, I'm mainly a guitarist myself, and to just sort of get that level of character, I suppose, and the processing is so cool just having this in front of you than doing it on your own, especially if you're composing really, really quickly. And there was just a single held note through the demo. Then you got harmonics. And then you got plucked bends. And you can hear like the background of the amp or the speaker or just something just makes it really sound nicely worn. And then you have the plucks. And the plucks sound absolutely ace, and I can't help but just smash on loads of reverb. And they're really, really clean. So that's the guitars, and let's just go for the contrabass clarinet. Now I've gone again for all-in-one, and we have the longs, and I will turn this down because this has the ability to go from... Actually, I'll go up a little bit. Probably gone a bit too loud there. Let's just bring it down. Now these can go from whisper quiet and then they can go ultra raspy. I just love that rasp and really low down. I don't know what's going on. I keep slipping for some reason onto adjacent keys. Not cool. Let's just try that again. And again, the character, just listen to the sort of surrounding air. And I really feel the clarinet really elevates the collection. I think the collection's fantastic. The piano so far, the strings, stunning. And the guitar, especially as a guitarist, I love recording my own guitars, and I'm more than happy to use these guitars, and then you get this contrabass clarinet, and I think it's absolutely breathtaking. So there we go, and that's just the longs. Then you have the stab. Yeah, sounds wonderful. And then the air. I think when you're using this in a composing situation, the clarinet, you just get that euphoric moment of, yeah, this is like the extra that my arrangement needs, and yeah, it just fits so beautifully well. And I don't know another instrument like this in terms of with the sort of raspiness and the different layers. The two polar opposites, like the really soft wind and then the really raspy sound, they're just both amazing sounds. And then we've got the tubex, or tubex. Again, it'll go all in one. And these need cranking up ever so slightly. And again, these have the ability to really snarl. Let's just go down a bit. Again, I don't know an instrument like it at all. Let's go for the stabs. And again, you can go through different velocity layers. And just get a really sort of quirky, unique sound. Again, sounds very, very, yeah, just very good. Very good. I was looking for a different adjective there. Wonderful. And that's it. That is all of the instruments in Heirloom. Now, again, it seems like quite a small collection. It is a toolkit, and the different articulations, just when you combine everything into a composition, you can just come out with these absolutely amazing, wonderful sounding instruments and compositions. So it's a very, very inspiring library. I can already think of 10 possible tracks you might make with it, all varying style and degree. So I'm going to load the legato again and the strings, and we'll go to the high legato. Just so we can have a quick look at the mic mixes. And the mics with Spitfire once again are incredibly generous. So we have our mix one, and the first mix and the only sort of curated mix, it sounds great. If we just go through the tape, Now, if you own other Spitfire string libraries, so for example, Studio Strings, one of my all-time favourite libraries, I put it on virtually everything, it's so versatile. If you combine this with tape, you're going to just get this small ensemble still, but a really lovely texture. But on its own, it just sounds just very intimate, like underscore quality. But it feels like the players are just in the room with you. So if I put the close mic on. And again, the close mic is incredibly clean and you retain the Church Studio sound, but you just have this very close sound going on. And if we switch, we go on the mid, but I'm going to change the legato to the low legato. Just see where we are. Yeah, so on the mid. Let's play through the far. Again, it needs to load. And then we have the ribbon. And the load times are really quick. I'm running this off an SSD. And I'm very impressed with how quickly everything jumps in. I say that, and the mic did load, but I did not turn up the volume. Also forgot we're on legato there. So I'd probably use ribbon and far. And then on the last page, I did say Spitfire being generous. This is where I'd start looking at the manual. Listen, possibly. Probably completely wrong. And I've not actually loaded the mic yet. So let's load that. It's very far away, wherever it is. So I'll kick myself on that one. And then we have the player mic, which I don't seem to be able to access. So I imagine that's involved or sort of created. It's together with Mix One. But again, it's somewhere I would just jump into the manual. Spitfire always have fantastic manuals. But for a full rich sound, the Mix One is absolutely ideal, and I doubt I'd really stray away. I do use the symphonic orchestra, so the strings, woodwinds and brass, and I'm forever messing around with the mics. The outriggers are my favourite, but I don't feel the need to on Heirloom. It just sounds that good out the box. Really, that does cover everything, and depending on the instrument you do have different effects, but they're not effects like delay and phaser and flange and all that. Generally reverb and tightness, and then if there's a release you can change that. Again, I didn't feel the need to adjust it. I didn't really feel the need for negative delay on any of my tracks. It's one of those libraries you don't really want to play to a click or that rigidly, and just kind of mess around and see if it flows, and if it does, just keep going, really. But yeah, so who is this library for? That's the big thing. Now, if you are a media composer or a cinematic composer, it's a really good extension of what you might already have. There's a lot of difference in here in terms of different articulations, unusual instruments, but it all works so beautifully well. And the character, I said it's kind of dusty, and that's the vibe you get. It's very close, intimate. You feel like the instruments are worn in some way. I don't know how to describe it, but the character is so incredibly rich of Heirloom. So if you want to use this as your basic bread and butter library, then there might be a few elements missing. But if you want to extend it with different instruments, different articulations, and just some really, really cool, unique sounds that are full of character, Heirloom really is a library for you. Do I recommend it? I certainly do. I am a big advocate of Spitfire libraries, but that is because the quality is consistently very, very high. And it is a bit of a niche library, so you need to let your ears decide if it's what you want. But again, for me, this is something that I will use a lot. All that leaves me to say is thank you so much for checking out this review of Heirloom by Spitfire Audio. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave us a like and tell us what you think is great about the instrument, how you use it in your own compositions. If you're not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos on YouTube, and then head over to samplelibraryreview.com to find out what is going on in the world of virtual instruments. Until next time, have a great day, have a great week, great month, wherever you are, and I'm sure we will talk again soon. Take care. Thank you.